Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. How are you all? Welcome back to all my returners and hi to any newbies. It is so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbie. They are free. So I haven't done one of these for a little while. And that is an episode of Have You Ever Wondered? Now, I do have a playlist for these videos that I will link for you down in the description box. And basically, in a nutshell, I had a brainwave, a while back now, of maybe conducting some little mini experiments, or, how else can I put it? When you sit there and you go, I wonder, and then you actually carry it out to find the answer. And that is what this segment is. And in the past, I have done things like how many granny squares can I get from a certain skein of yarn? I did an episode of Have You Ever Wondered what all the washing and care instruction symbols mean on a skein of yarn? Bits of, little informational / experimental videos for you all, just to have something slightly different. But this episode, I am extremely proud of myself for. So, where do I begin? Okay, so for a little while now, I have noticed on a few other channels that I watch conduct experiments of their own. And there was one that fascinated me a lot. And I wanted to carry it out for myself. Now, there is a lot of negativity at the moment with me not having a job, etc. But that does mean that I have a little extra time on my hands, right? So I thought it would be the perfect time and opportunity to conduct this experiment myself. What I am talking about is several content creators all across YouTube land have tried to do the experiment of how much can I crochet in 24 hours. Now, they were kind of split into two camps of how they approached that question. There is the camp of literally crocheting for 24 hours solid, starting a timer and crocheting and crocheting and crocheting until their timer hit 24 hours. Not sleeping, none of that, just literally solid crocheting. Well, that is not an option. This Manfa needs her sleep. She really, really does. So I fell into the other camp where there was a timer, but the timer was only clicked on as soon as the hook was picked up and the crocheting was being done. But it was clicked, or it was paused every time they got up to make a drink, every time they had to use the bathroom, when they went to bed. And it was done over the course of a few days when they stopped to have a meal, all of those kinds of things. And I thought that would be the best way for me to do it. So it is a solid 24 hours, but with a lot of start and pausing in between. So I decided to do this, and like I've just explained, every time that I stopped crocheting, every time I put my hook down, I paused the timer. Whether it was for me to go for my 100th wee of the day, whether it was for me to sit and eat with my family, whether it was for me to go and run an errand, whether it was for me to go to bed for the night, whatever it was, that was when I paused the timer. And then the next time I picked up my hook, I would click it and get it going again. So I have my timer here to prove that I did crochet for 24 hours solid. Now, to a point, you still have to trust that that was the case, because I could have just clicked my timer on and let it run while I was just going about my own business. But I promise you, I am very, very factual here. I tell you the truth. I don't mislead you in any way. Mike and the kids can verify, because the times one of the other 5 people that came into this house and said, "Why have you got a timer running?" and I had to explain that I was trying to see how much I could crochet in a solid 24 hour, a solid day, they shook their head and thought I was crazy, just like everything else that I do. That's why I have this community in this channel, because you guys don't think I'm crazy and you guys get why I do some of these things. But my family don't. Now, as you can see, there is a tiny smidgy bit over, but I can guarantee you that actually, as we were getting to the last minute of the 24 hours, I had actually already finished. There was no point me starting another one. So I just let the timer run, and I was just a bit slow at clicking the stop. All right, I'm human. So 24 hours on the clock. But what did I crochet in that 24-hour time period, I hear you ask? Now, I was debating on this for quite a while. I didn't know whether it was to just work on my whips and have like stitch markers to say this is where I started, this is what I got done. But I thought I work on my whips anyway for other segments in my channel, and I want this to be a bit different because it is an episode of Have You Ever Wondered? And then I had a little bit of a light bulb moment. This was kind of one of those things that kind of germinated and kind of festered away over a little period of time, because a little while back, the last time I did my yarn revamp, I changed my yarnscape behind me. I also went through my scrap bin, the bin that I keep all of my scrap balls. And I was, caking up my scraps because they'd all got a little bit unruly and a little bit tangly. They all have parties in there when we're not looking. Even if you put them in there as a lovely neat cake, they don't stay like that, I can tell you. So I thought, right, I need to neaten that up. I need to untangle them all. I need to recake them. And then I thought, well, why don't I separate what, and I'm looking over there because that's where the scrap bin is, sorry. While I'm here doing this, why don't I separate them into darker colours and lighter colours? Because some of you may know that I'm actually making pairs of crochet hearts for the charity Hearts Healing Hearts here in the UK, and they request pairs of light or bright coloured hearts. They don't want the dark and the dingies, which I can completely understand. And what Hearts Healing Hearts use the pair of crochet hearts for is they send them to hospitals and hospices and funeral homes, so that one of the crochet hearts can stay with the family and one of the crochet hearts can go with the loved one that they are separated from, whether that's through long-term treatment, isolation, um, or sadly that they've passed. But even when a loved one has passed, if you know that one of those hearts is with them and one of the hearts is with you, you are forever connected. And to keep that love, that connection, and that bond is something that just really spoke to me. It really struck me as a wonderful and simple and lovely idea, and I wanted to jump on board. And also, when you donate to these charities, there's no other feeling like it, guys. The warm fuzziness that you get from that, the feeling that you're doing some good, you're putting some love back out into the world, you're helping all these families in some of their most difficult times. It's just an honour, it really is. And also, selfishly, a side note, the crochet hearts really don't take very long to work up, and I have a lot of whips. I have a very busy life, and sometimes I don't have a lot of spare time to designate two bigger items. So these were the perfect little makes that I could do for a charity that does an awful lot of good and brings an awful lot of comfort to people in their most heartbreaking and devastating of times. So I separated my dark colours and my light colours, and I put all my light colours in one of these big reusable shopping bags that I've got here. And as you can see, it's still quite full. But also, guys, as I'm making me other whips and me other projects, if it's light or bright, I'm shoving it in that bag as well. So I still will be, because to begin with, I pulled these skeins of cotton from my stash. I still will be using these up but I thought that I could also bash through some of my scraps as well. So they're in there as well. And then, you know, we've got some light lavender here. We've got, you know, some pale grey. We've got bright red, you know, so all of those sorts of things I have collected in that big shopping bag. I now also have a spare little bag here of all the tiny bits left over. So once I've got all of the hearts I can out of one of those scraps, I'm balling up the little leftovers as well. And I'm using these tiny little leftovers to tie the pairs of hearts together. So I am actually using every single little bit of yarn for every little scrap or cake that I have. So I'm condensing my scraps and putting them to good use. And lots of families are getting the benefit and the comfort of the heart. So I thought, great, I can use this 24-hour time period to see how many hearts I can get done in a solid 24 hours. Now, in normal life, I don't spend 24 hours. You know, this is the experiment. So like I said, every time the hook was in my hand and I was making, the timer was running. Every time I put the hook down, the timer was paused. So this experiment actually took 4 or 5 days to complete. Okay, it was done over a period of 4 or 5 days. Also, to go along with that is I take part in Stash Down 2024, and all of the hearts that I used from scraps of yarn that I knew were definitely yarns that I got prior to 2024, those I included in September's Stash Down statistics. And if you watch that video, you will know that I never gave you a total for that. I will in a minute. And then I separated the hearts of yarn that I have scraps of that came to me in 2024. So I did separate them. So the total for Stash Down is not the overall total. I have lots of numbers and statistics to give you in a minute. And also, you haven't seen this yet. So this is a sneak peek. There is a Happy Mail video coming up next week, I believe I've scheduled it for. But in September, I received a Happy Mail from Yarny Fairy Godmother. And in that Happy Mail that you haven't yet seen was lots of these crocheted hearts that she wanted me to pass on to the charity on her behalf. How amazing. Her hearts have come all the way from the USA. She spent the time and the effort, and she spent the shipping to get them to me so that I can include them with my hearts to give to Hearts Healing Hearts. So let's get Yarny Fairy Godmothers out of the way first. Now, Yarny Fairy Godmother sent me 24 pairs. This is completely separate to the experiment, but we'll get that done and I'll know that I've included it, because otherwise, brain like a sieve, it ain't gonna happen. So she actually sent me 24 pairs. Now I have already bagged them ready to be sent, because as soon as I film this video, I can get them in a mailer and sent straight to Hearts Healing Hearts. And I was packaging them as 2 pairs in a pack, but I've had to up that to 4 pairs in a pack. So we've got 4, 8, 12, 4, yeah, 4, 8, 12, 16, yeah, see, maths isn't my strong point, 20, oh my goodness, it doesn't want to come out, 24, okay, so 6 packs of 4 at 24, and she chose this gorgeous lavendery lilac, and she also chose this pale baby pink. So those 24 pairs will be sent along with mine, and I did package them for her. She just sent them in a bag. They were tied together in the pairs, but I packaged them for her in my little bags that I've got, and I'm more than happy to do that. So 24 pairs from Yarny Fairy Godmother, but this isn't part of the experiment. This is just proving how lush Yarny Fairy Godmother is. We all knew that anyway, but here's yet more proof. And she sent them in a gorgeous organza bag. So I packaged them in the little plastic bags. I have kept them in the organza bag, and I will just pop that straight into the mailer along with mine. I am going to put a little post-it in there explaining that they're from Yarny Fairy Godmother and where they've come from, which is the US. So I'll pop that post-it that I've already written there. But it's got Yarny Fairy Godmother's real name on it and her location in the US, and that is none of your guys' business. So there we go, 24 pairs from Yarny Fairy Godmother, which is completely separate to this. Now get on with it, Sam. They want to know exactly how many you got done in 24 hours. So are you ready? Now, I'm not going to count them like I counted Yarny Fairy Godmothers, but I am going to show you each of the packs. And I'm going to tell you now, guys, there is a lot. Now, before I started this experiment, I'm running out of room. Pop that there. There we go. Before I started this experiment, I had already made 12 pairs of hearts. Those 12 will go to Hearts Healing Hearts as well, but they don't include in this experiment, okay? So we've got Yarny Fairy Godmother's 24 plus the 12 that I had made separate to this experiment. So already 36 pairs of hearts. And considering I've averaged about 32 pairs myself, not too shabby, okay? But look. And you might have seen that I posted a short on my channel of lots of hearts for charity. But again, I never gave you totals. So are you ready for me to start pulling these out? Pop them down on the chair. Gonna be here for quite a while, guys. All right. There we go. There's 4 in every packet. And I'll just prove that there are 2 packs of them. I'm not just showing you another pack. Okay, so I've packaged them all up, ready to go. All right. We're going to be going for a while. That's why I'm not holding them up too long. I'm just getting through them as quick as I can. Okay. I'm going to have fun filling this bag again after I finish, aren't I? Lots of different colours, but they're all the same style. Lots and lots and lots. Okay. Using up all my lovely scraps. Sending them to those that they actually need. Now, I did actually empty the full bag, but for argument's sake, I'm going to take 3 packets back. 4, 8, 12. These aren't the 12 I made before the experiment, but I told you I made 12 before the experiment. So we'll just grab these top 3, okay? 4, 8, 12. They all just happen to be pink. You know I love pink. So these were made before the experiment, okay? So they're separate. They don't count in this experiment. So we can put those back in the bag. And I've got another organza bag to put mine in as well. So we're already at 36 pairs with the 12 I did before the experiment and the 24 from Yarny Fairy Godmother. So I managed. How am I gonna do the big? So the pairs that counted for stash down, as in yarn I got before 2024, there were 70 that I put into the stash down statistics. But that isn't the grand total. That is not all that I made in that 24-hour period. No, no, no. I'm going to give you a little moment to rack your brains to see how many pairs I actually did make. If it's just for funsies, there's no prizes. This isn't a giveaway. But let's pause a minute and let you type a number in the chat, in the comment section, to see if you were close. How many did you think I got done? So remember, 12 don't count, but 70 counted for stash down, but there are more. How many more than 70 did I get done in 24 hours? Bearing in mind they're pairs, okay? So whatever number the pair is, you need to double it, okay? So Yarny Fairy Godmothers, she made 24 pairs, but that's 48 hearts total. I made 12 pairs before the experiment, but that's 24 total before we even begin. All right? So 70 that counted for Stash Down, that's actually 140 hearts, guys. And that's what counted for Stash Down, but there is more that do not count for Stash Down. You ready? Have you typed a number? Have you done it? Okay, so in total, and it's totally fluke. These numbers make me so happy. It was not planned this way. Honestly, I wasn't even counting them as I was shoving them in the bag. I was literally make a heart, make a heart. And actually, before I give you the total, sorry, I'm stringing this out and I'm being really mean. But just out of, context of what I was doing, not only was I crocheting all of the hearts, I was also weaving in the ends and tying the pairs together. So this isn't, if I had just done hearts, I would be showing you a load of hearts that hadn't even had ends weaved in, hadn't even paired them. And I probably could have got done way, way more. But what I was doing is I was crocheting the hearts, however many hearts I could get out of the scrap I was using. And then I was weaving in the ends and tying them together. And then I was moving on to the next scrap. So this is actually how many hearts fully weaved in and tied together can I make in 24 hours. If I was just doing hearts, I probably could have doubled. Not going to lie. Probably could have done even more pairs for them. Might do it again in the future. Who knows? But the number that I actually managed to get fully completed, fully weaved in and tied together in a pair was, and again, I wasn't counting them. I was just chucking them in pairs in my bag. I didn't count until before I came on camera. I got 100 pairs. Flat 100 pairs. What a lucky, fluky coincidence. Obviously, the maths gods were being kind to me that I could work that out because maths is not my strong suit. So I made 100 pairs in 24 hours, fully weaved in and tied together with their little bows. That's 200 hearts in 24 hours. And I am so stoked with that number. So in total, 100 pairs in that 24 hours, 12 pairs that I had done prior to the experiment. So that's 112 pairs from me for the month of September. And I'm filming this in September, but you're not seeing it till October, so they will get to them in September. 112 pairs from me for September and 24 pairs from Yarny Fairy Godmother for September. So in total, between myself and Yarny Fairy Godmother, Hearts Healing Hearts is going to receive 136 pairs of hearts. That is a total of 272 hearts. How incredible, how amazing is that? That is going to help 136 families just from myself and Yarny Fairy Godmother alone. 136 families that these hearts are going to touch. This has been one of the most meaningful, one of the most fun, one of the most attention grabbing episodes of Have You Ever Wondered I have ever done. And I have got such a buzz from doing this. I'm so thankful that Yarny Fairy Godmother helped and, donated some all the way from the USA. So touched that she did that. She didn't have to. But I am so proud of what I've managed to accomplish in that 24-hour time period as well. Remember, the 24 hours was spread over 5 days, but how awesome! 136 families that will benefit from these tiny little crochet hearts. Honestly, guys, they're really not that big. And there we go. 100 of these weaved in and tied together in 24 hours. So there we go. I hope the reveal was worth it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Yarny Fairy Godmother, if you're watching, thank you for your contribution to this wonderful charity and for touching the lives of families here in the UK from all those thousands of miles away in the US. You are such a generous and giving person. It is unreal. But yes, 100 pairs of hearts weaved in, tied together in 24 hours, 12 pairs made before the experiment, and 70 of those pairs that were allowed to count for stash down. But all together with the 24 from Yarny Fairy Godmother, 136 pairs. How amazing, how incredible. Oh, my heart is bursting, and I hope this brought you a little bit of a smile and made you feel pleased for the charity and what we have managed to do this time around. So let me know down in the comments, were you close? Were you even anywhere near the number made? Were you impressed? Did I impress you? It's not about impressing you. It's about helping these families. And boy, are we going to help families this time around. Who knows what October's going to bring. I think I'm going to hold back from some of these, long-winded experiments just for a little bit. I'm going to have a little bit of a break and then I may bring it back. I may just bring it back and see if I can beat my target. This may be a once in a blue moon thing that I do from time to time because, I'm a little bit competitive. And the more hearts that are made, the more families that it's going to help. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really, really do appreciate it. Please do come back tomorrow for a book look with me, and I might be a little bit of a cheat and I might do a label my library with that book as well, so it ticks 2 boxes in one. Not gonna lie to you. We shall see. But until then, stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. I will see you in the next one or around the YouTube streets. Oh, it was amazing. Bye, guys. Love you loads.